So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well. We've got big news. Welcome to Roma Theory. First of all, if you're doing well, smash that like button, even if you're not doing well, I suppose. But yeah, smash that like button. And we've got big news because Solbakken speaks up. Now, we're basically getting confirmations, even from Solbakken himself, that he's going to start a new adventure very, very soon. And this adventure will bring him to our team, to our Roma, to this city. So over the course of this live stream, we'll speak about this deal. We'll speak about what Solbakken said and what that means. And yeah, I mean, to get started, first of all, smash that like button, as I just said. And yeah, let's get cracking, because it's the first time after Roma faced Bodo that Solbakken speaks. I mean, that we've actually heard him speak, and that we actually are potentially interested in what he's saying. So a few days ago, Solbakken has basically said farewell to Bodo Glimt. And we've been talking about Solbakken joining Roma since quite a long while now. We've been talking about Solbakken joining, becoming a new player. And I remember us talking about this even immediately after us playing Bodo Glimt. Now, there's something about this deal which made someone, part of our team, really impressed about Solbakken. Because this is a deal where we have a player, and I've said this many times, but I'd like to say it again. The only reason why we are going to get Solbakken, and we were initially interested in buying Solbakken, is because we played 4 games against him and he scored quite a lot of goals in the 4 games against us. That is the only reason why Solbakken will become a new Roma player. So that definitely means that from the second we played against him, someone in this team, maybe it's Jose, got struck by this guy and has asked Thiago Pinto to buy him, to add squad depth in that attack. And, flash forward a few months ago, flash forward that 6-1 defeat against him, flash forward that 2-2 draw against him, flash forward that, 2-1 defeat in the next round of the Conference League, and flash forward that 4-0 that then brought us to win the Conference League. We have got Solbakken, who is going to be Roma's first signing of the January transfer window. Now, we have gone from rumors to speculations to confirmations in a matter of months. And today, this is the live stream which is going to confirm everything. This is the live stream that if you're a Bodo fan, don't want to watch, but a bit of tears, say goodbye to Solbakken. If you're a big fan of Solbakken, this is a live stream that you will be waiting for. Because yes, he hasn't signed that contract. Yes, he hasn't been officialized by any social media platforms when it comes to Roma. But we have got something which he himself has said. And we've got actually some big news, which we'll get onto in a very small second. So let's get into what he said. He basically had a very long interview with Bodo. But the most important thing that he said, Bodo, I'm ready for a new adventure, and this is going to be the end of the journey with a team which has been my family, which has been my backyard team for many years. Now it's time for a bigger challenge. So Solbakken himself is confirming that he's going to leave Bodo. He's not confirming the team yet, but we're the only team interested in him, and we're gonna buy him. Now, we've got quite a few weeks before the January transfer window. So Solbakken still needs to wait quite a bit when it comes to actually reaching Jose. But we've actually got big news, because this is something which is being confirmed by Sky Sports and several Roma sources, that Ola Solbakken will be in Rome next week. So that basically poses end to any doubts that we have on Solbakken. Solbakken will be in Rome at the start of next week. So, yeah, I mean, Solbakken will become the first Roma player to be bought in the January transfer window. Now, again, I'd like to repeat that this has been a player which we've been interested in for quite a long while. this has been a player which we've been following, yes, under some very certain circumstances. We've been following, yes, under some very certain circumstances because we played against him. But he's been, we've been following for quite a long while. Now, this is significant. This is significant because it means that by being interested in him for quite a long while, we've been studying him over these past couple of months. Now, why does this help? This helps because adaptations are going to be massive. Now, for the January players, the players which will buy the January transfer window, adapting to the team will be the biggest challenge, as any player which joins a new team. We have to be so efficient when it comes to making them adapt really well, in a way that we have to be as proactive as possible to make the new players adapt quickly. Because the second the World Cup ends and the second the Serie A restarts in January, we have no time for new players to take a lot of time to adapt. And I'm giving you a big example here. Look at Belotti. Now, yes, Belotti is not the same player as he was at Torino, but Belotti is playing very badly because he still needs to get adapted to this team. We don't have space for that. So the fact that we've been following Solbakken for quite many months now means that Jose, in his spare time, Jose's assistants in his spare time, would have looked at Solbakken's matches during this period of last months against Bodo, would have studied the way he plays even more than the 4 matches we based their knowledge on him, would have studied the way he plays, and with this, they would bring all of that knowledge that they kind of gathered together about Solbakken immediately to our team. And they've potentially, and what has happened due to the fact that this has been a player which we've been following since quite a long while, I wouldn't be surprised if Jose and his assistants have showed the way he plays on TV to the other Roma players, which need to play next to him. So, you see what I mean when I say, yes, we're not buying an absolute world class of a player. We're buying a decent player which will give squad depth to the team. We're buying a player which will allow rotations up front. Because, the second the January, the World Cup is over and we get back starting, we're going to play in 3 different competitions in the space of so many months. And in both 3 competitions, we have to try and get as furthest as possible. Serie A have to get top 4. Europa League, yes. I mean, objective at the end of the day is to win it. But are we going to win it? That's another question. Anyways, the objective remains going as furthest as possible. And Coppa Italia as well. So, rotations and squad depth will be vital from the second the Serie A restarts. Now, it is also true that we'll be playing less matches per week because the World Cup is out of our bowls. But rotations will have to be vital. So, yes, we're not buying Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, we're not buying Kylian Mbappe. Yes, we're not buying an absolute standout player. We're buying a useful player, and we're buying a player that we've been studying a lot over the past couple of months. Because we've been following for quite a long while, this means that Jose, from the day we've been interested in him, wanted to know more about him, wanted to know more of his movements. And, don't get me wrong, it's also true that Bodo and the Norwegian league are way different than the Serie A and Roma, but at the end of the day, that's with every player. Players need to get adapted to new environments, and the quickest they get adapted, the better, the more goals they'll score, and the more impact they'll give to the team. So that's definitely it when it comes to Solbakken. People are saying, are you sure Simon was linked with Napoli too earlier? Yes, he was linked with Napoli, but he is going to be in Rome next week. Why would he be in Rome and then go to Napoli? But yeah, it's basically confirmed, lads. It's 99.99999% done. It's basically, now it's all about his medical checkups. If they go wrong, I mean, for us not to see Solbakken wear a Roma jersey, his medical checkups need to go wrong. And what's the probability of doing that? So he's going to become a new Roma player, confirmed by many sources. Will be in Rome next week. He himself has said farewell to Bodo, so he's not staying. We've got all the sources to put together that Solbakken will be the first January acquisition of the transfer window. Now, we're seeing Roma's transfer market build up. We're seeing Roma's transfer market shape up, we should say. Because Solbakken is definitely not going to be the first player. And Solbakken is definitely not going to be the only player which we buy. We will need to buy more players. We will need to buy players in several different positions. But you know, and especially something which is good is that we're seeing us being proactive in the transfer market, even if the transfer market is closed, and that really reflects the fact that in January, I've said this already, we have to cover so many positions, and we only have 1 month. We've got limited time, so the earlier you start with negotiations, then the easier it will be. It will get even more players. So yeah, so Bakken will be the first Roma player to sign in January. Just bear that in mind. So yeah, and another player which we're interested, and also let me give you an update when it comes to the Korsdorp situation, because I mean we speak about Bayern and yesterday, 2 days ago, and Bayern has actually refused Roma. He wants to continue with Barcelona until the end of the season. Thank God. Who wanted Bayern? No, I did not. We are now interested, and we're actually leading the race for Odriozola. Now, he's a player which used to play for Real Madrid, used to play for Bayern Munich, used to play for Fiorentina in these last years. So, yeah, we're actually leading the race, and we're pole position, let's call it, when it comes to buying Odriozola as a Korsdorp substitution and as a Chilik competition. So that's definitely something which we'll talk about in these next weeks leading up to the transfer market. So yeah, let me think of anything else. I mean, yesterday Nico played in the national team against Albania in a very special stadium. So, and he actually played well, I think. He had a good impact. I was gonna go live yesterday, but then I had a blackout. Yes, look at me. I had an absolute blackout yesterday. 10 minutes before starting the live watch-along. So it had to be cancelled. But yesterday was a very productive day because I planned so many video ideas for this period of time. So there are going to be very, very interesting content coming up over the course of this period. Obviously, a part of transfer news, transfer updates, and all of that. So yeah, looking forward for that. Right, let me answer some questions. Good, think about him. He can play as both left or right winger, and that's something which reflects what we said in the last live stream. Buying versatile players can be a key to this transfer market. Because we don't have limited time to buy players. So if you can buy players who can play in different positions, you're like, I'm buying 2 for the price of 1. That's my pick on it. Shimrodov wasn't given enough time, says Banks Harrison. Who knows if Shimrodov will be sold in January? That's actually a really good question. Some players will definitely need to be sold in January. And as of now, I definitely say one of the first players to potentially leave is Shimrodov. But I have a feeling, and Korsdorp. So that's already 2 players which I think will leave in January. But I agree with you. Shimrodov had to be given more time. The thing with Shimrodov is that the chances he got, he never really convinced. That is what I think has been the real killing factor of why Jose's kind of put him out of the squad. Who are you supporting in the World Cup? I'm supporting Portugal, just because I want Ronaldo to win it. I am a Ronaldo guy over Messi. I'm sorry if I disappointed many of you, but I am a Ronaldo guy, so I hope he wins it. Other than that, I actually like the Netherlands squad. Young team, fast team. So yeah, the Netherlands is definitely one which I wouldn't mind supporting. Definitely not England. Definitely not England. No offense to any English fan here, but definitely not England. Like, England is my last pick in this World Cup. I would rather Qatar win it than England. And bold statement here, as an Italian, I'd rather France win it than England. So yeah, who else do I like? I like some, you always kind of back some weird, not weird, you kind of always, in a World Cup, in a European, in an international tournament, you always back a little dark horse which you hope can try and get far. I like Senegal. Australia is another one. These little teams, I wouldn't mind if they go far. But yeah, my big one is Portugal and the Netherlands. I think Gakpo, Xavi Simons, the Netherlands have got a lot of potential in that team, and I think they could be easily the dark horses of this tournament, as alongside as Denmark, I think. So yeah. Right, ladies and gentlemen, good Solbakken news today, good Solbakken updates today. I'll keep you updated for any other transfer news, and in the meantime, don't forget to smash that like button. If we can get 20 likes by the time the live stream ends, would be amazing. You've literally 1 minute to get 10 likes done. It would support me a lot. And yeah, so please do it if you haven't already. And subscribe to the channel. Let's try and get 6,000 subscribers as fast as possible. And yeah. Right, let's see what people think. Get that 20 likes done in the meantime. Roma want to sell him, definitely. I think teams interested in purchasing him are hesitant and would prefer a loan. Berenziski will be... I mean, I've said it last time I was here. Berenziski is just as useless as... I'm looking at something to try and find a comparison. He would be as useless as a bronze Ballon d'Or. There you go. Who are your favorites to win? I think... Actually, I won't say it because I'll go live on Saturday. Saturday's live stream will be my World Cup predictions. You've actually made me want to do it. So tomorrow we'll speak about transfer news to conclude the week. And on Saturday, World Cup predictions. Yes, World Cup predictions. So I'm not going to say who wins because I'm going to keep it on Saturday. So come back if you're interested to see who I think will win. Everyone loves watching an underdog perform. Obviously, I'd want the US, but they may not leave the group stage. The US have got another really good team. Like, a lot of potentials in the United States team, I think. So, yeah. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I'd back the US. Because I like how they've got young players. So, yeah. I'll catch you soon. Simon.